So now back to Connecticut.
Yes.
You know, you came into an encounter with a voodoo priest who stated that she knew your mom.
Yes, that's right.
And then from there, she tried to talk you into pretty much giving over your daughter to her, you stated?
Well, not at first. He was just telling me how my daughter was pretty and how my daughter was special and she looked like the Virgin Mary, all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah. But
and you said she talked about God with you.
Yeah, she did. She told me, she said, your daughter, she said, your daughter, she told me one day, you know, she was in the kitchen. It was late at night and my daughter, you know, was asleep. She said that she turned around and my daughter stood up and sitting down, just staring at her. She said she got so scared, almost ran out the house. I don't know. That's what she told me. So,
okay. So, from there, how did it go to the kidnapping of your daughter from this particular woman? Well, because you believe she was going to sacrifice your daughter.
I really believe so. She started telling me, you know, oh, how your daughter, she was telling me, she said, your daughter, you know, she's a special child. You know, she told me, she said that you're going to suffer a lot in your life. You're going to go through a lot of stuff in your life. But she was like, this one right here, she's going to bring you out of it. She said, this one right here, she's going to be a powerful child in God. She told me that. And then she started telling me, because at that time, I wanted to go back to Miami, you know, to be with my kid's father. Because at that time, he already left. You know, he had went back. So I was like, I was telling her that I want to go back to Miami, you know. And we was playing and she was like, she said, well, I want to go with you because I had to go somewhere, you know. She started telling me a story about how she had a friend that was in New York, and her friend, somebody had kidnapped her friend's baby, and she said that she was going to go to New York, help her friend find her baby and bring the baby back. But all this time she was talking about my daughter, that she was going to do that to my daughter, but I never knew. So she was planning on kidnapping my daughter and taking my daughter to New York to bring to this so-called friend.
Okay. So to make a long story short, being that you know, she did share with me what took place. So the woman actually set it up where they got on the plane to go back to Miami.
Exactly.
And she had arranged with her husband that they were going to get on a plane. Or no, she had actually paid someone off at the airport. So while you're going through the airport, you were stopped saying that you cannot get on a plane with 2 kids.
Exactly.
So you had to make a choice to leave one.
Yeah, exactly.
And because you knew that you had to get back on a plane, you knew that she would have been able to ride with your other daughter, which is the one that she kept talking about.
That's who she chose to ride with.
But you didn't know what she was doing.
I had no idea.
So the person at the airport kept saying, you can't come on. You're only allowed 1 child. So now you had no choice and said that, hey, I'm going to let her get on.
Exactly.
And then there was another attendant that said, are you sure, you know, that you want to trust this lady with your child?
I was like, I trust her. Yeah, I trust her.
Okay. So from there, you went ahead to Miami. Then you get a phone call from the airport saying that your child was roaming around the airport with abuse.
I got it. No, actually, I went and called my kid's father, grandmother. You know, I called them just to let them know, look, I'm here, whatever. And that's when they started telling me, oh, this lady called us, telling us that your daughter is abused. She's walking around the airport. She don't have no clothes on. She got bruises all over her.
So
that was
but you believe that the voodoo priest got someone to call your grandmother?
No, she called. She don't want that.
Oh, she called.
She called them
and lied on you, on saying that she has the child because you abused the child.
Exactly.
So therefore, they believed her.
They believed her.
And you kept saying, no, I didn't abuse my child. No. She was supposed to bring the child back to Miami because I couldn't get on the plane with her.
Yes, that's what happened.
So in that point,
yes,
you stated you were going to go back to go look for your child.
Yeah, because the thing is, we had a plan. You know, I was supposed to meet her at a hotel and come get my daughter. That was the plan. So she didn't know I was going to be waiting at the airport. She thought I was going to leave and go meet her at the airport. I mean, at the hotel.
So how did you figure it out that she was trying to kidnap your child?
After the stories that my kid's father told me, the stories, everything
about the abuse
and everything, I put two and two together. I was like, wait a minute, something don't sound right. I was like, wait a minute, because it wasn't true. I mean, I know I wasn't a good mom, but I never abused my kids, like beat them. No,
correct.
I neglected them, but abused no. So
okay, so you went back to the airport.
Yes.
No,
I was at the airport. I waited.
Oh, so you never left?
No, I never left. I waited because the reason why I waited because I found out the plane that she was in. So because the thing is, she was supposed to get off at the plane and go to another airplane. So she was gonna come to Miami where I was at, but she was gonna catch another plane. That was the the plan. She didn't know I was gonna be at the plane waiting. So I waited there. I asked So she made the phone call thinking that you had already left. Exactly. Yes. Okay. Exactly.
So another intervention by God. That's all I can say.
Amen.
So at this particular point, you say that was the moment where you had a certain feeling.
Yes.
And you know it came from God because the loss of your child.
Yes.
You explain that part.
Well, after my kid's mother told me that, she was like, this lady's telling me that, you've been abused, your daughter was being abused. She even told my mother-in-law that the police found my daughter.
And they were taking her children to family.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I was like, I said, wait a minute, something don't sound right. So as soon as she told me that, I mean, out of nowhere, I felt like I was scared for my daughter. I mean, I really felt a love for my child. Even though I wasn't a good mom, I felt the love. I was scared. I mean, I said, oh my God. It was so funny because when I was out there in the world, I didn't have a relationship with God. I knew God exists, but I never talked to God and prayed, But as soon as that happened, I knew to call on God. So that's the first thing I did. I started praying. I said, God, please help my baby. That is the first thing I did. I said, God, help my baby, please. I was walking around the airport. I was going crazy.
And it was for a while now. You say about a few hours.
It was for a while.
And you're searching, calling her name, begin.
Yeah,
you
walking
started
around.
Getting angry.
Yeah, I was cursing. I was mad. I was upset. I was crying. My heart was beating. I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack. I really did. But I knew I had to pray. I knew I had to pray, because, my mom, before she left, she used to talk to me about God,
Before she was arrested?
Yeah, she used to talk to me. I never went to church. I was never raised in church. I never been in church, but, because I was raised out in the street. But she used to talk to me about God, and she used to tell me stories about God. So I knew exactly who I had to call on, and that's when I started praying to God. Yeah.
So you said that was your God moment. And the point where you started crying, and you said you actually asked God.
Yes.
God, just please let me find my baby.
Yes,
and what happened at that moment when you asked him that?
God is so good, I'm telling you. Because the funny thing about it is, I was out there in the street. I was nasty, dirty. I mean, I did all these stuff, and God was still there.
He heard your cry, even as a sinner.
Even as a sinner, He never left me. He heard my cry, and He answered my cry. So as soon as I said that, I asked the officer, it was like a security guard, I asked him, I said, when is the plane coming in? And he was telling me, he told me that the plane is going to be coming in soon. So when her plane arrived, I was at the airport waiting for her. So everybody was coming out the airplane. Everybody, I seen everybody. So I'm walking around, I'm just crying. I'm saying, God, please, Lord. I said, God, I didn't say, God, forgive me, because I didn't know what that meant, But I said, God, please, just bring my baby home, please, God. So I'm crying, calling out to God. So everybody coming out the airplane, everybody coming out. So I asked the security guard, I said, that's it? I said, nobody else? I'm worrying. And he said, no, there's more people coming out. So everybody coming out, right? And then that's when I seen this lady coming out the airplane, with my daughter, holding her hand with her husband. And when I seen that, I said, oh my God. I ran.
And the husband said thank you to you because he knew what he was doing.
Yes.
And
yes.
Okay.
I ran and grabbed my baby and I started squeezing her. And I'm over here cursing at this lady. And then she's like, she was shocked. Her eyes opened up so wide. She did not know she was going to see me there. She was.
So even after the fact that you notified the police at the airport that this woman just was getting ready to kidnap your child.
Yes.
They didn't do anything about it.
No. They told me, matter of fact, because I was very upset. I was about to jump at her. You know, I was telling her, you know, I was cursing. You know, I was telling her, you know, you trying to kidnap my baby and all that. And she just walking around looking like crazy.
Even after you telling the police that this woman just tried to kidnap her daughter, they did nothing about it.
Nothing about it. They told me I had to leave. They said, if you don't leave, we're gonna arrest you. So they told me I had to leave. So I got my daughter, you know, and I ended up leaving. And after that, I never seen that lady again.
So from that point, where did you go? You end up moving with your, I believe, your baby baby mother, and that was back to the trick house.
No, I ended up moving with his mom. She had her own house. Yeah, I ended up moving with his mother.
So at some point, I believe you stated that they kicked you guys out the house and you had nowhere to go. Then you started staying in the car, one of your friend's car.
Yes.
And they got tired of you and your kids staying in the car every day. And so I think you were going into a Walmart or something.
Well, no. After they kicked us out, we was in the street. Me and my kids, we started sleeping in the park. Yeah.
Sleeping in the park
with the kids.
With the kids.
Yes.
And then what?
Yeah. Well, we was there for a while, but my kid's father, he had a job. You know, he was working, but he was like a busboy, but it was something, you know. So he used to put us in hotels. We went to like different hotels, you know. But sometimes, you know, we had to get put out because we didn't have the money to pay for the hotel, so they would put us out. So the last time came. We had nowhere to go. You know, we had no money to go to a hotel. We had nobody wanted us to live at their house. We had the friend who was sleeping in his car. He got tired. So, you know, we went to Walmart one day and we walking around. We walking, and he's like, let's go, let's leave. And I'm like, where are we gonna go? I said, we have no money, we have nowhere to go. And the kids, I'm with the kids pushing the stroller with 2 babies, had nowhere to go. I'm like, where are we gonna go? So he's like, well, we can't stay in Walmart all day. So at that time, I started praying. I started calling on God again. I started praying, you know. I told him, I said, we need to pray. You know, I started praying because I had nothing else. But I knew who God was. So I prayed. I said, God, help me. Please help me find somewhere to go because I didn't have no money. I didn't have anything. I said, Lord, please just help me. So I'm praying. In my heart, even though I didn't know what faith was, but in my heart, when I was calling on God, I believed that he was going to be there. He was going to do something. I really, really believe in my heart that God was going to do something. I said, I know he was. You know, even though I was a sinner and I did all these disgusting and filthy and nasty stuff, but in my heart, I believed that God was going to come through to me. So I'm praying. I'm saying, God, please help me, Father God. As soon as we were about to leave out of Walmart, my brother came in out of nowhere. I never seen my brother. I mean, it's been years and years. He just walked in out of nowhere. Now, you know, that was a coincidence. You know, I mean, my brother lived all the way in Miami Beach. We was all the way, you know, in Miami. Where did he come from, you know? So he just came. And that was the last moment. We had nowhere else to go. That's why, you know, it's true when they say that God always come at the right time. He was definitely at the right time. When my brother came, he was like, my brother started talking to me, and I was telling him I had nowhere to go. I had no place to go. That's when he ended up putting us in a hotel, a real nice hotel.
And then he actually helped you get into an apartment.
My first apartment. He ended up helping me get into an apartment. He knew a friend of his that ended up, you know, helping me get an apartment. But while we was at the apartment, we didn't have nothing. We didn't have no furniture, so we used to sleep on the floor and like an old dirty mattress. Me and the kids, we had nothing, no furniture or nothing, so we slept on the floor.